Hey guys, Reddita here. Fair warning, you may find some of these confessions a bit jarring or disturbing. My apologies in advance. We have some violent confessions here, including one from an abuser and a Reddita who hit their aunt. Enjoy. r/confession. I watched my students beating their classmate and I ignored it. I'm a history teacher, and in my class, 12, 13-yo, there's this little prick that always makes a lot of noise, keeps touching and messing with other kids and employees and makes mean, racist jokes about everyone. He is constantly trying to make my life, and the life of his classmates hell thinking he is funny or something. In a nutshell, he is a bully. Yesterday he destroyed his group project, causing everyone in his group to fail. Although I'm giving more time for the rest of his group to remake all of their lost work. I already tried calling his mom, the biznatch defensor precious son, that would never do such bad things. He's such a sweetie. Today I was walking to the teacher's room to grab my coffee and I saw the kid being dragged to a corner. I knew what was going on the moment I saw it, and I just ignored what I saw and kept going my way. The kid got roughed up and had to go home early, while every soul at the class is silent shut about any suspects. But I believe that everyone in the class knew about this for some time now. I personally feel no remorse nor I plan to advance or help on the investigation. I just pretend nothing happened and gave my lecture as always. No remorse, but I can't change the flair. Edit. Some more information. I'm a Brazilian and this school is a very small and poor one in the bad part of Rio de Janeiro. We do not have most of the resources, be it money or professionals, or the policies that you commenters have suggested to me. I know I was the asshole in this situation. I won't let this shiz happen again, nor will I praise anyone that took part on this, but this is a confession subreddit, and I confess that it felt good. Also, the kid is fine. They hit him in the belly and arms and obviously I won't let that happen again. The school is giving him extra care and attention. My aunt hit my mother, so I dragged her across the floor and punched her till she passed out. My aunt is a poisonous woman. Our whole family doesn't talk to her. She's done things in the past you wouldn't believe. So she left our lives years ago. Recently she returned out of the blue at my mom's house. My mom has 2 other sisters and a brother. My mom and aunt never got on. My mom is a lovely person, but she could sense from a young age something was off about her sister, so she kept her distance. My aunt was nasty and would hurt people's feelings intentionally for no reason. She never had a partner or kids. She isolated herself from everyone. My gran cut her off when she tried to steal thousands of dollars from her. We all genuinely think there's something physiologically wrong with her. So back to where I was going with this. One morning I was at my mom's house, just chilling out and there was a knock at the door. So I opened it, and there she was. She walked in. She looked like she had took drugs. She looked dead behind the eyes. I tried to stop her, but she pushed me down. I honestly don't know why she came to my mom's house out of everyone. I quickly got up, and she went into the kitchen. She startled my mom and punched her in the face. My mom didn't even have a chance to blink before she hit her. She went down like a ton of bricks. My heart felt like it had been sucked through into my stomach when I seen it. Something came over me. I don't know if it was anger or adrenaline, but I ran up behind her and grabbed her hair and I dragged her out onto the back lawn and I bashed her face about 15 times. Blood was everywhere. Thankfully no one seen me, or I might not have been writing this right now. I got up and I left her there. I went to check my mom. She was in a lot of pain. I looked back out the window and she was gone. We told our family immediately about this, and they were perplexed and angry as to why she just turned up and attacked my mom. I'm still so hurt and angry as I write this, but I also feel tremendously guilty and upset that I done that to her, because I've never fought anyone, and I'm not a fighter at all, but something came over me and I snapped. I can't get over it for some reason. It just seemed so unreal and there was no reason for the attack. God forbid she had a weapon. That's truly scary to think about. We didn't call the police, as I assaulted her badly and didn't want it to bounce back on me. That's another thing I feel ashamed about. But should I feel bad or not? I need others' opinions as I've been bottling this up for a while. My gran was devastated. She just wanted her daughter back, but from a young age she took to drugs, spent time in prison and amount of other things. You can't help someone who doesn't want to be saved. I punched a teenager. I was walking my dog and a teenager asked to pet him. Teen was about 14 to 15, and I said sure, and he flicked him in the eye and I punched him in the nose and he ran away. I feel bad, but you mess with my dog, I mess with you. I had to take my dog to the vet because the eye that got flicked wouldn't open, and they gave him drops and said to wait 2 days and he should be okay. Edit. Dog is alright, but if his eye is still the way it is today, I'm taking him back to the vet so they can see if it got scratched really bad. Update. Dog is fine. Kid's mom is still harassing me. I punched my brother out last night in front of his kids. My brother and his kids are living with me. He's having financial issues. Last night, my brother flipped out on his 11-year-old son over something stupid. I have no issue with parents disciplining, and my nephew is no angel, but he was going way too far, and it got physical. Our father used to beat the shiz out of us and it still haunts me. When I saw my brother hitting my nephew way too hard and too much, I popped him. We yelled at each other and told everyone to go to bed. I wonder if I made things worse. I physically and emotionally abused my ex-girlfriend. Throwaway account. I deserve hate for this. This is a very long story, so I'm cutting out a lot of somewhat important parts. To get this out of the way, we are both girls. We met when I was 17, and she was 18. We became close friends almost immediately, spending all of our time together. We started dating a few months later, after realizing our feelings were mutual. She had a car and a job, I had neither. She would pay for me almost every time we did anything. This will be important later. Now, the first year or so was pretty good. I was somewhat stable on my medication. I'm bipolar. She was doing alright with her mental illness. We hardly ever fought. We generally had a very healthy relationship. Maybe some codependency problems. We were living at my mom's house. I still didn't have a job or a car. Then, very stupidly, a decision I regret for even more reasons than this, I decided to go off my medication. We started to fight more. A lot more. About stupid shiz that didn't matter. See, she was really messy, and I was very neat, so it bothered me a lot. I would get annoyed when I would see a mess she made. I started calling her lazy, and generally just demeaning her. The order of events is pretty jumbled, since I try to push this to the back of my brain, but I'll try to keep it cohesive. At some point we moved in with her dad. Our fights started escalating into screaming matches. I really can't express in words how meaningless these fights were. I don't remember what any of them were about. I had such a short fuse that now she had started to get annoyed with me about small things as well. It was a cycle we created for ourselves. Well, mostly my fault, if not entirely. We still had extreme codependency problems. I had suggested moving back to my mom's house on my own a couple times and she really didn't want me to go, despite her literally paying for everything I did. I didn't really want to leave either. We were pretty much obsessed with each other. I tried to get a couple jobs during this time, but quit after just a few days due to severe anxiety and panic attacks. I started getting really into drugs, psychedelics, scripts, RCs. You put it in front of me, and I did it. I also started to kind of go back on my medication, and by that I mean I skipped all my therapy appointments and took my medication maybe 2 or 3 days out of the week. I really like to think these factors contributed to my deteriorated mental state during this time, and that I would never be this person in my right, medicated mind. I got a job a couple months later, where else but a popular fast food chain. I was making shiz money, of course. She would still pay for me for everything, and I would save the money I got and spend it on stupid stuff, like clothes and jewelry. I rarely ever bought her anything. All her money was going to both of us, and all my money was going to just me. So fornicating stupid and selfish I was. We would be fighting about the most stupid, random shiz in the world, start screaming at each other, of course. I remember this overwhelming feeling, like little pinpricks all over my body, like the blood in my brain is boiling and is going to explode at any minute if I don't just react. I would shift her moving, driving car into park, sometimes on the freeway. If we were having an argument, I would spill drinks in her car. This feeling I got when we were screaming at each other, saying horrible things to each other. I didn't know what else to do in that moment other than physically react. I cannot stress how out of control I felt. Not that this excuses any of my actions. I don't remember when I started hitting her. I remember once we were in her dad's apartment, fighting, of course, and she was on the floor and I was kicking her sides. I remember once we were driving, fighting, of course, and we pulled into a police station because I had punched her in the face and she was just done. I started hitting her in the police parking lot. I remember once we were driving, fighting, of course, and I fornicating, put a lit cigarette on her face. Her face. Just absolutely disgusting and shameful. Eventually all of our fights ended in the same thing. We would say horrible things to each other. I would get physical. We would forget about it and try to find a way to come up with a story to cover it up. Truly fornicated shiz. A few months of this goes by. She would have marks on her face and arms and lie to her fornicating family and coworkers about where they came from. Absolutely fornicated up shiz. I was still working at the same damn fast food chain, and she eventually had a nice little office job with benefits and good pay. I was 19, and she was 20 at this time. I still didn't have a car. She was absolutely convinced I would get better, and I was too. I just needed to be consistent with medication and therapy. We just needed time apart. We just needed couples therapy. We just needed something to end this horrible cycle. We loved each other. We really did. The way she treated me, forgave me time and time again. She loved me so much. Too bad love wasn't enough for me to get my fornicating shiz together and treat her right. That haunts me every day. That someone loved me so much and I couldn't do right by them. It all came to a boil one day when we were driving somewhere. We got in another fight and I threw her car into park again. She told me this was it. She's done. She can't do this anymore. It's been months. Why aren't I getting better? Why am I still like this? I agreed with her. I told her she was right. This was it. We needed to be done. She dropped me off at home, and a couple weeks later I came by and picked up all my stuff. We kissed each other goodbye. After this, our mutual friends split into who was my friend and who was her friend. The ones who are her friends removed me off all social media. She blocked me on everything. Now, because I was still horribly toxic, I created fake phone numbers to message her, mostly telling her how much I love her and how sorry I was. She didn't want to hear it. I don't blame her. It has now been almost a year since we broke up. Thankfully I have a better job and a car. I have remained single the entire time. She has a boyfriend, to the extent of my knowledge, and I really hope he treats her better than I did. I have no idea the extent of what I've done to her. As much pain and shame as I feel, I can only imagine what she feels. A few people know of the wrongdoings that went on during our relationship, but this is the first time I'm really telling the full story, albeit anonymously. If you're out there, if you're reading this, I'm so sorry. I'm so fornicating sorry. I wish there was something I could do to take it all back, but I can't. I love you, I will always love you, and I will always regret fornicating everything up. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to smash that cowbell if you want to get notified when the daily upload drops. At this point it doesn't even hurt me on the inside to say that in my videos anymore. Now I'm just numb to it. You happy YouTube? Your subscribe button not actually doing what its sole purpose was back when it first showed up here is making me dead inside, and yet you require people to subscribe to us for us to have any success on the platform. It would be nice to not be reminded every time I see that bell that someone with the IQ of a toaster must be making decisions over there, or at least was back when the bell became a thing. Okay, that went a little off the rails. Anyway, as always, have a wonderful day.